My hair is a mess because I haven't showered yet today, so I thought I'd treat you guys to another review in a hat. I really like this hat. I have a lot of hats. I should just do every review in a different hat. This should be a cowboy hat, actually, but I don't have a cowboy hat because, obviously, it's Sunday morning. So what did I do? I watched a Sunday morning Western, and I watched another one starring Joseph Cotten. He has a handful of Westerns left. In my pursuit to watching all of his films. This one was directed by Sidney Salkow, and it was kind of a revisionist Western. It's from the 60s, called The Great Sioux Massacre. It's got some issues. Number one, in that it extensively used footage from Salkow's earlier film called Sitting Bull from 1954. And the mixture of the two, you can tell when they go from the old film to the new film because the color grading is totally different, and it's just really horrible. And, you know, a lot of Westerns did this where they used stock footage or whatever, but it's a lot easier when it's in black and white and you can't really tell unless you know, but when it's color and the color grading doesn't match and they cut from one color grading to another color grading and back again, it's like, holy crap. You know, it's a mess. So, in this film, Joseph Cotten plays General Reno, or Major Reno, and Darren McGavin is Captain Bill Benton. Phil Carey is Custer. Michael, I don't know if it's Pat or Pate, is Sitting Bull. And Iron Eyes Cody is Crazy Horse. As you probably know, Iron Eyes Cody was not actually Native American, although he claimed he was for the bulk of his life. He was actually Sicilian, or a Sicilian American from Louisiana. But he made a career as a Native American and featured in many, many films and PSAs as a Native American. Now, to give this film some credit, it basically is very compassionate towards the Native Americans and the fact that basically we as a country screwed them over and put them in horrible containment camps and stole their land and attacked them and basically waged war on them and then vilified them for trying to either retaliate and or protect themselves. And there's a whole bunch of Westerns that are these cavalry Westerns that are earlier on mostly very pro-Army and anti-Native American. And post The Searchers, you get these revisionist Westerns where you're looking back and thinking, you know what, actually the Army has a lot at fault as well, if not mostly. So this one doesn't make anybody a villain and it doesn't make anybody a hero, and but it doesn't really vilify the Native Americans, which is great, and it does show the horrible conditions in which they found themselves, especially when they were like shoved in blockades and things, and how the racist thinking of like they're worse than, you know, animals. So, you know, it's got that going for it, but then they like shoehorn in a romance that just doesn't need to be there. The acting for the most part is terrible. Joe does the best he can with what he's got, but, you know, his character is very, it's just a stereotypical like drunk post Civil War Confederate soldier forced to be in the Union, you know. It's just terrible. And then, like I said, they shoehorn in all of this footage from this previous film, and it's just terrible. So it tries, and I believe it's closer in history than most depictions of Little Bighorn, but it's still very Hollywoodized and not particularly insightful. I'm still waiting for the day when most of these stories are actually told from the point of view of the Native people, because it's really their story. It's really their history that we like have told completely from our point of view, and it's fucking disgusting. But you know, we're like we talk about race relations a lot in America, but like we really gloss over that entire history, and we don't really give a mouthpiece to actual Native and Indigenous people or artists. We don't bankroll their films. There's a great independent world going on right now for Native film, but like, you know, like in Hollywood, you get like The Revenant claiming to be about Indigenous people, and it's like, that's the best we can fucking do. I don't fucking think so. Anyways, this is from 1965, so it does what it can for 1965. It's not great. It's not terrible. Parts of it are terrible. Again, it's from Sidney Salkow. It stars Joseph Cotten. If you're Joseph Cotten completist, watch it. If you're, you know, not, you probably can skip this one. I watched it on Amazon. You can rent it from Amazon. You can rent it on YouTube. Take it or leave it. Yes, 1965, The Great Sioux Massacre.